Deep inside one of the largest temple complexes on Earth, the Sri Ranganatha Swami Temple in SriRangam, there's a mystery, a phenomenon that has quietly defied time for almost 900 years. It's a story that really makes you question what we think we know about faith, science, and the human body itself. So, what are we actually talking about here? We're talking about what tradition says is the physical body of a great saint, sitting in a shrine, visible for everyone to see. It's not in a tomb, it's not hidden away. So the question that's been hanging in the air for centuries is, how? How is this even possible? Our journey takes us to the incredible temple town of SriRangam in South India, a place often called Bhuloka Vaikuntam, which means heaven on earth. And at the center of our story is the revered philosopher and saint Ramanujacharya, one of the most important thinkers in the entire history of Hinduism. Now, according to tradition, this is the year Ramanujacharya left his physical form, 1137. Just think about that for a second. That's nearly 1,000 years ago. To really wrap our heads around what's happening in SriRangam, we have to go back in time and get to know the man himself. So, who exactly was Ramanujacharya? You see, to even begin to understand the mystery of his preserved body, you first have to understand just how revolutionary his life and his ideas truly were. Born way back in 1017, Ramanuja was a brilliant mind who quickly found his own path. He eventually became the head of the SriRangam temple, and for decades, he wasn't just a spiritual leader, he was a total visionary. He reorganized everything, the rituals, the administration, the whole shebang. And tradition holds he lived to the incredible age of 120, completing his life's work right there in the temple he transformed. His biggest contribution to philosophy was this idea called Vishishtadvaita. Now that's a mouthful, but the concept was a game changer. He argued that, we're all part of one universal divine consciousness, but our individual souls are still unique and distinct. This meant that a personal, loving, devotional relationship with God was possible for every single person. It was a more accessible spiritual path, and it became a cornerstone for the Bhakti movement that swept across India. Okay, so now let's go back to the shrine itself. For devotees, this isn't some historical relic or a memorial. No, it's believed to be something so much more profound. It's considered a living presence. There's this very special phrase they use, Thānānā Thirumeni. It perfectly captures this belief. It literally means he himself in person is there. The idea is that the great teacher, the Acharya, is still physically present to guide and bless everyone who comes to see him. So when people visit, what do they actually see? Well, the form is seated in Padmasana, that classic lotus posture for meditation. The right hand is held in what's called Jnana Mudra, a gesture that symbolizes knowledge. The face, the hands, the posture, it's all visible. And here's a detail that people always point to. Traditional accounts say that you can still see the fingernails. This is often highlighted as proof that this is a real physical body. And this, of course, brings us to the absolute core of the mystery. How has this body been maintained for 9 centuries without any modern chemicals or embalming? The answer, according to the temple, lies in a very simple yet very sacred ritual. Twice a year, a special paste is applied. That's it. The main ingredients are pachai karpuram, which is a kind of edible refined camphor, and saffron. This simple mix acts as a natural preservative. The camphor is an antimicrobial and keeps insects away, while the saffron gives the skin its distinct ochre color. And this tradition has apparently been going on unbroken for hundreds and hundreds of years. Now, I know when we hear ancient preservation, our minds jump straight to Egyptian mummies. But what's happening in SriRangam is fundamentally different. Egyptian methods were invasive, right? They used salts to dry out the body, then wrapped it up and laid it down. The SriRangam method is just topical, on the surface, and non-invasive. The body is seated upright, out in the open. It's rooted in a spiritual belief, not just a physical preparation for the afterlife. So, as you can imagine, a phenomenon like this sits right at the crossroads of deep faith and modern curiosity. And these two perspectives offer completely different ways of understanding what we're seeing in that shrine. From the devotional point of view, it's actually quite simple. The preservation is a miracle, plain and simple. It's seen as a sign of Ramanuja's incredible spiritual power. His body is considered a sacred vessel, filled with so much grace that it doesn't decay like an ordinary body. It's an act of divine will. But if you look at it from a strictly scientific perspective,
While these claims all exist within the realm of tradition, there have been no independent, peer-reviewed studies, forensic or archaeological, published on the Thirumeni. So everything we know comes from devotional texts and temple history, not from outside scientific verification.
Now, some other accounts and interpretations bring up another possibility. Could it actually be an incredibly lifelike idol, one that was carefully crafted and placed over his sacred burial spot, his samadhi? This view suggests that the ritual isn't preserving a body, but rather a sacred statue. It's a question that exists right alongside the deeply held faith of millions. But here's the thing. Whether you see it as a miracle, an incredible feat of ancient preservation science, or a sacred idol, the power of that shrine is undeniable. It's the focal point for the incredible, enduring legacy of Ramanujacharya. And his legacy is absolutely profound. Ramanuja wasn't just a philosopher writing in a room somewhere. He was a social reformer. He organized temple worship, built a solid administrative system, and maybe most radical of all, he championed social inclusion, opening the doors of devotion to everyone, no matter their caste. His work basically became the blueprint for temples all over India. So in the end, the shrine at SriRangam is so much more than a historical puzzle. It's a powerful monument to a teacher and a philosophy that have shaped the lives of hundreds of millions. And it leaves us with one last question to think about. What does this kind of devotion, a devotion that has lasted for almost 1,000 years, tell us about our timeless human search for meaning?